What up, my peeps? Yeah. Let's get them angles. I'm still getting used to where I need to see. Let's get started with today's video. Today we're going to talk about how to get good advice. But I don't know if it's just as important or more important or less important, but I think it's probably up there as far as equally important is how to give good advice. And at the same time, we're also going to go outside and you're going to kick it with me. So let's roll. I do want to say that this is I don't even know where I'm looking. This is a little tough. I'm getting used to a different camera. I don't even know where to look. One of the things that I like to do is I like to switch up my cardio just so it doesn't get boring and it stays fun. So today we're going to do a little bit of jump rope and the goal is 150 jumps. Forget it. It's not consecutive. I stop a lot. All right, that's 50. I'll take a little break and then I'll do another 50. Because remember, the goal is 150. When it comes to advice, through the course of my life, I've received some excellent advice, some horrible advice, and everywhere in between. I think all advice is great, but the one advice that has always bugged me and bummed me out is not so much the bad advice or even the good advice or anywhere in between. It's when the advice comes with mudslings. All right, time for another set. That's set number 2. 100 done, 50 more to go. Remember, I don't do them all at one stop. The advice I'm talking about that comes with mudslings is times that I would get the advice of, we'll use time for example. Albert, you should do this with your time. When you wake up, do this. When you wake up, do that. Before you go to bed, do this. As long as you're awake, do this. Write goals, do your schedule, appreciate every moment. All that advice would be great and useful. To this day, I still use it. But the part that would always get me feeling kind of bummed was when they would add, because you don't want to be like those people. Ouch. That was always a dagger, because it just so would happen that I'd either A, have friends that were like that, I would have family members that were like that, or I'd have such a big imagination that I would immediately think about those people that they were referring to. Don't be like those people. And I would always think about, maybe those people don't know any better. Maybe those people don't have someone like you that'll give me the advice. There's a percentage of people that are like this, and there's a percentage of people that are like this. And nowhere, I think, does mudslinging improve the advice. So what's the best solution that I found? It's really simple. When you listen to advice, throw on your mudsling filters. When you give advice, don't ever sling any mud. Make it all positive. Last set of 50. I'll be right back. If you're not as good as this as I am, never get discouraged. When you're listening to advice, listen to everything and minus off the negative. Do your best to it's good practice. Filter off the negative. Filter out the mudslings. Once they start talking smack, filter out any mudsling that's coming through the advice. Now, when you're giving advice, that could be a little bit more tricky. All right, now we're in here. Looks familiar? Don't underestimate the power of jumping rope 150 times every day. It gets you going, and there's some hella coordination involved. When you're giving advice, give it without the mudslings. Give it without talking smack. Give it without bringing anybody down. If you want to advise somebody to use their time wisely, tell them all the great things that comes with using your time wisely. Tell them all the benefits that they'll have. Tell them all the things that they'll accomplish and how great they will feel and how it will boost their self-esteem and allow them to make even more things and create more things. But don't say anything bad about the people that still haven't done it or are not doing it. There's no need to bring up dirt. There's no need to sling any mud about anybody who's not doing the thing that you're saying they should do. You could give great advice without slinging any mud. Just keep it positive. The results that I've had The results that I've had by not listening to the mudslings, not listening to the negativity when getting advice, it makes that advice much more rich. There's a lot of people that I listen to, mentors that I follow, some that are still on the planet, some that are not. I don't agree with them 100%. Some of them I agree up to maybe 95% or even 99%. But those things that I don't agree with, or those things where they're maybe slinging mud at other people, I minus it. I don't listen to that part because I don't need to listen to the negativity. All I need to do is listen to the things that I need to get done, the stuff that I need to add to my life. And that's sufficient enough without having to put anybody down. Now, when I'm giving advice, I do my best to not mudsling anybody. It just works out better. Now, that took practice. There was many a times where I would talk to myself. Yes, talk to myself. I do it all the time. And try to practice. How would I describe this? How would I give this advice without bringing anybody down? Instead, bring people up. I did every explanation with goodness. I did everything with accomplishing and moving forward and becoming better than you were yesterday, without pressing anybody down or pushing anybody down and giving even some sort of a feeling that they're not good enough because they're not doing it yet. That's not the way to do it, because you could hurt somebody's feelings. You don't know if that group of people or that other person is a relative of theirs or a loved one. You don't want them to have a certain sort of feeling for that person or feel that they're any less. They're just maybe not there yet. And I've also come to find out in the long term that you give better advice, you give more fruitful advice without including the mudsling, without including the negativity. You get more out of it. And ultimately, since you're not talking about the negative, you tend to attract and create even more positive. So how do you get good advice? And how do you give good advice? Give your advice without including any mudslings or any put downs or any negativity. How do you listen to good advice? Listen to the goodness of the advice and minus any of the negativity, any of the put downs, or any of the mudslings that might come included. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your patience. See you on the next video.